Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Unconnoisseurs of Jazz. Tonight, you get to hear my top 10 list. It is such an honor to be able to give you this list, but man, what a hard act to follow. We just heard Drew's list and we heard Dad's list earlier this week. So I get to go last, and, I'm excited about giving you my list. So without further ado, here we go. All right, here we go. Without further ado, this is my top 10. The way that I'm rating trumpet players, because I am an ex-trumpet player, I'm rating on tone, I'm rating on flexibility, and I'm rating on range. So I didn't give these guys individual scores, but I am counting down my top 10. So I'll start with number 10. Here we go. At number 10, I actually had a tie. I couldn't pick because they're so similar. I got Maynard Ferguson and Wayne Bergeron are tied at number 10. Maynard, of course, was one of the most influential jazz trumpeters of the 20th century. He became especially popular for blending jazz with rock and pop influences and helped introduce younger audiences to jazz music. He also mentored many young musicians who later achieved successful careers, and Wayne Bergeron was one of those trumpet players. Wayne became highly respected in the music industry for his work as a lead trumpet player in big bands, including Maynard, Gordon Goodwin, and Quincy Jones. His powerful sound and ability to play extremely high notes made him one of the most sought-after lead trumpet players in the world. Some of the albums that stand out to me: Conquistador from 1977 for Maynard Ferguson. That is a standout album. If you're going to only listen to one album from Maynard Ferguson, Conquistador 1977, it's got Gonna Fly Now on it, which has won him a Grammy, and it's just an amazing piece of work. I like Wayne. I actually had some Wayne in my ear today. Full Circle from 2016. Wow, what a banging album that Full Circle is with Wayne Bergeron. All right, that leads us to number 9. Number 9 on my list, Mr. Arturo Sandoval. He's one of the world's most celebrated jazz trumpeters, admired for his remarkable technique, versatility, and passion for music. He co-founded the Cuban jazz group Irakiri, which blended jazz with Afro-Cuban rhythms. Now, where did he get that from? I'll tell you in just a minute. But he moved to the United States. He built a highly successful solo career, and he recorded numerous albums that combines jazz, classical, and Latin influences. He's won several Grammy Awards for his performances, and he's also composed music for film and television performances. He's got 36 albums as a leader. List too long to count as side. He's just played with anyone and everyone, as far as I'm concerned. Some of my favorite Arturo Sandoval's is his work with the GRP Big Band. And if you haven't heard the GRP Big Band album, I highly recommend you go check it out. There's also a blues album that he plays on, the GRP Big Band Blues. But that GRP album is a standout album to me because it was one of the very first jazz albums that I had in my collection. And so those standard tunes that the GRP band plays is just phenomenal. He won the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2023, the Kennedy Center of Honors Kennedy Center Honors Award in 2024. And I got to tell you this, the other favorite album that I found this week, Dear Diz, I Think of You Every Day. That album I pinned to the top of my iTunes list so I could listen to it repeatedly over and over again. I love that album so much. Moving on to number 8. Number 8, I picked Lee Morgan. Of course, Lee is one of the cornerstones of Blue Note label. He's one of the most talented and influential jazz trumpeters of the hard bop era. He was born in Philadelphia. He showed exceptional music ability from a very young age and began playing trumpet as a teenager. Despite his success, Morgan struggled with personal difficulties and addictions during parts of his life. He was, of course, tragically killed in 1972 at the short age of 33. I like his solo career and his work with Blue Note. Many influential albums from the 50s and 60s. Of course, my favorite, the Sidewinder album. I absolutely, I mean, that's a go-to album for any trumpet listening that you're going to do is the Sidewinder. A Night in Tunisia, the song off of the Cooker. If you have not heard the Cooker album, I highly recommend listening to the Cooker because that's an amazing Lee Morgan album. I do want to take just a minute, just a few seconds, just to let you know that I came up with this list on my own. I did not do any other research before I created my list. So all of these I wanted to do on my own without doing any kind of list lookup online or anything else. So this was a fun project. It really was. At number 7, I've got none other than Dizzy Gillespie. Dizzy was one of the most influential figures in jazz history and a pioneer of the bebop movement. He performed with major swing bands led by musicians such as Cab Calloway before helping create a new, more complex style called bebop. Working closely with saxophonist Charlie Parker, Gillespie introduced fast tempos, advanced harmonies, and inventive improvisation that transformed modern jazz. He plays completely wrong, as you'll see in the picture on the slideshow. And when I say that, I do mean he plays completely wrong. He puffs those cheeks out, and any band director who's worth his weight in gold will tell a trumpet player, do not ever do that. Dizzy made it work somehow, and I love the fact that he made it work. It's just amazing that he was able to do that and make it work, because I was taught that don't ever do that. Range and tone are undeniably recognizable. Man, I almost made a mistake there. My favorite songs by Dizzy are Salt Peanuts and A Night in Tunisia. It's a classic jazz standard song, A Night in Tunisia. Every single trumpet player worth his weight of gold is going to learn that song and play it on an album. Number 6. No, I'll tell you what, building your own list is very difficult, as you guys have already mentioned, but you kind of get the top 3 going in your head, and those are the easy ones. It's 4 through 10 that are hard, and I wanted to rate this guy much, much higher, but I've got some banging trumpet players coming up. So number 6 for me, Roy Hargrove. Outstanding jazz trumpeter and known for his blending traditional jazz with modern styles such as funk, hip-hop, and soul. He began studying trumpet at a young age and later attended the prestigious Booker T. Washington High School and the Performing and Visual Arts in Dallas. He, of course, was found by none other than Wynton Marsalis, but he did explore different musical styles through projects such as the RH Factor, a group that fused jazz and R&B and hip-hop influences throughout his career. He won multiple Grammy Awards and inspired younger generations of musicians. Despite health problems later in life, he continued performing and recording until his death in 2018. He did win 2 Grammys in 1988 and another one in 2002. He mixed his genres so well that, the RH Factor, you could listen to that 100 times and hear something different in each time you listen to it. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm one of those young musicians that has been inspired by what he's capable of and what he's done. Of course, being a Texas boy doesn't hurt either, but
that's
yes.
Correct. That's correct. My favorites by Roy. If you listen to no other song by Roy Hargrove, song number 2 on The Vibe, called Carryisms. It gives you the tone that a trumpet player should have throughout the whole tune. It gives you the flexibility. He is so flexible on that tune. His solo is such an amazing piece of work on that song, Carryisms. It brings me to tears every time I listen to it. The other album that I referenced, Havana, I absolutely love that album. I love the Cubano style that he did that album in. So that's number 6 trumpet player on my list, Roy Hargrove.
They changed the Grammys in order to win a jazz Latin album after he won a Grammy for Havana. So
Yes. Yep.
big thanks, Matt.
Yeah. All right. Number 5 on my list, and I'm doing well. So number 5, Fats Navarro. Fats was one of the most gifted trumpet players of the bebop era and an important influence on modern jazz. He was born in 1923, and he developed an early interest in music. And first, he played the piano and the tenor saxophone before focusing all of his attention on the trumpet. He was inspired by great musicians such as Dizzy and Roy Eldridge, but he quickly gained attention for his brilliant tone, speed, and creativity. It's been said that some of the other members that he would play with were afraid to play with him because he would overshadow them while he was playing. During the 1940s, Navarro performed with several important big bands and small jazz groups, including those led by Billy Eckstine and Tad Dameron. His recordings demonstrated remarkable technical skill combined with smooth phrasing and melodical improvisation. He died at the short age of 26, so he had a very, very short career. My favorites from Fats Navarro are the album Nostalgia, which is an amazing album, but especially the tune Dexter's Wood on Nostalgia, and then the Fabulous Fats Volume 1, especially the tune called The Chase, and then on that album, The Chase Alternate Take. Holy cow. You want to talk about range, you want to talk about flexibility, and you want to talk about tone. Listen to those two tunes from those two different albums and tell me that you can't hear the range and the flexibility from Fats Navarro. Okay, now it gets a little easier because I'm in my top 5. I've got 6 out of the way, and I'm on number 4. Number 4 for me, top 10 trumpet players, Clifford Brown comes in at number 4. Clifford was one of the greatest trumpet players in jazz history and a major influence on the hard bop style. He began studying music at an early age and quickly showed exceptional talent on the trumpet. In the early 50s, Clifford performed with important jazz musicians such as Lionel Hampton and later joined drummer Max Roach to form the famous Clifford Brown Max Roach Quintet. And I've got that album listed on my slides as well. Unlike many musicians of his era, Brown was admired for maintaining a disciplined lifestyle, free from all of the drug and alcohol use. His career, however, was tragically brief. In 1956, he was killed in a car accident at only 25 years old, so he had a short career as well. He started taking private lessons at the age of 13. Dizzy actually visited him during his hospital stay and encouraged him to stay in music. I'm sorry, but if I'm in the hospital and I get a visit from Dizzy Gillespie to tell me to stay in music, you better stay in music. The hospital stay was not a result of the car crash that killed him, but it was something else. So my favorites are, some of my favorites are the Jazz Immortal album from 1954, and that would be the RVG edition, the Rudy Van Gelder edition, and the Clifford Brown and Max Roach album from 1954.
And Dad had given us another one to check out as well. So thanks for that album, Dad.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, number 3 on my list.
Are you feeling the pressure? This is where the comments are going to start to blow up in your episodes because the top 3 might be controversial to some people.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, when you create a top 10 list, you leave greats off. You have to leave greats off. I left Clark Terry off the list. I don't want to give anything away, but I left Chuck Mangione off the list. I left Ibrahim Malouf off the list.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's very difficult. Doc Severinsen and Don Cherry are not on the list. Neither are either one of the Randys. Randy Sandkey or Randy Brecker are on my list. So yes, it is intimidating to do a top 10 list because you're leaving great people off the top 10. Number 3, there's just no way you could leave off as a great trumpet player. Even though sometimes his tone and his range are limited, in my opinion, his influence in the music is incredibly well known. After dropping out of Juilliard, he joined Bird's Quintet in 44 and 48. I really fell in love with Miles's work on the early work. There's an album that he and Diz play on together from Charlie Parker, and it's difficult to tell the difference between Miles and Dizzy when they play on that album. That's what really influenced my decision for Miles Davis to put him at number 3. He was one of the most influential and innovative musicians in jazz history. There's no doubt about that. He began playing the trumpet as a teenager and later studied at Juilliard School in New York. However, he soon left school to perform with leading jazz musicians, including Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie, during the bebop era. Throughout his career, Davis constantly explored new musical directions. That's the other thing. He may not have been the greatest trumpet player, but his vision for the music, he changed the direction of jazz several times by his influence in the music and the way that he played and the music style that he decided to play. In the 1940s, he helped develop cool jazz with recordings later collected as the birth of the cool. During the 50s, he formed legendary groups featuring musicians such as Coltrane and Herbie Hancock, recorded the groundbreaking album, Kind of Blue, which became one of the best-selling jazz albums of all time. No doubt about it, he's a great trumpet player. He had major shifts between decades, like I was saying. My favorites are Birth of the Cool from 1957. That album puts me in a mood where I could just sit and literally just listen to the album and do nothing else for the rest of the day. 7 Steps to Heaven from 1963 is another one of those that I put on this week for the gajillionth time, and I heard something new almost every tune I listened to from 7 Steps to Heaven. Just an amazing album. But for him to come in at number 3, there's got to be 2 more that are even better. Coming in at number two, I could not leave him off the list because of my criteria, the tone, the flexibility, and the range. Coming in at number 2, Freddie Hubbard was one of the most accomplished and versatile trumpet players in modern jazz. He was born in Indianapolis, Indiana, so he's a Hoosier just like I am. And he began studying music at an early age and developed exceptional technical skill on the trumpet. During the 60s, he recorded with numerous influential albums for Blue Note Records and performed with many legendary musicians, including Art Blakey, John Coltrane, and Herbie Hancock. He played on important jazz recordings such as John Coltrane's Ascension and Herbie Hancock's Maiden Voyage. Hubbard's style blends hard bop, modal jazz, and later jazz fusion, allowing him to adapt to changing musical trends. He's got an unmistakable and influential tone. His unrivaled control of the instrument is just amazing to me. Some of my favorites are the Red Clay album from 1962, I think, is Red Clay. And then Open Sesame, the Open Sesame album. But my all-time favorite is his work with Oliver Nelson on The Blues and the Abstract Truth. And even Freddie himself said that's some of his best recorded work ever. And if you have not heard The Blues and the Abstract Truth, please go listen to it. Please go listen to it. His solo, just go listen to the album. Just go listen to it. It's an amazing album. Okay, drum roll, please. That brings us to my number 1
All
top
right, everybody
player.
take a deep breath. This is what Matt's going to say is the number 1.
This is my number 1 pick, and I'm super excited to hear all of the feedback and the comments because they're going to say no way this guy. But here's my number 1 pick, Wynton Marsalis. Perfection isn't good enough for Wynton. It has to be above perfection, in my opinion. You're never going to hear a recording of Wynton making a mistake or flubbing a note ever. You just won't do it unless you're listening to even most of his live stuff. There's no mistakes. Playing for Wynton, playing the trumpet isn't second nature to him. It is just natural as breathing to me and speaking to you, Drew. It's just natural. It just comes natural. He's one of the most prominent jazz musicians in modern era, known for his virtuosity, leadership, and advocacy for traditional jazz forms. Whether you love him or hate him for that fact alone, he's polarizing because on one side, I love him for his music ability. For the other side, his stand on traditional jazz gets me. He became a leader, advocating for acoustic jazz and helping revive interest in earlier jazz traditions. Black Coats from the Underground is the album that you should listen to. Carnival, which is not a jazz album. That's why I feel like Wynton is such a great musician, because he can play jazz and he can play classical. So if you've not heard Wynton play classical music, the Carnival album from 1986 is a must listen to. My other favorite is Marsalis Standard Time, Hot House Flowers from 1984, and the Buddy Bolden album from 2019. We never got a chance to hear Buddy Bolden play, but in my mind, Wynton does a great job of putting Buddy Bolden in my ears the way that I think Bolden would have sounded. That does it for my top 10 list and my time. I just want to say thank you so much. Please feel free to leave comments. Let me know what you would put on your top 10 list.
Absolutely. And
yeah.
As we've learned here at the Unconnoisseurs, Matt, putting these lists together is a big risk. We've enjoyed the top 100 from Jazzwise magazine. We're enjoying the Nate Chinnon book, the 129 albums, essential albums from 2000 to 2018. So to actually step out and put our own on there, man, it's been great to hear how you have flowed through this. I backtrack and go, man, I wish that I would have been paying better attention when I was putting my notes together to see how it all flowed from your perspective. But I have appreciated Dad's input, my input, and then seeing where you're coming from, because I think this is jazz. We all have different voices, and we all have the same story to tell. Who were the greats according to us, and how we get there is unique. So what a great list that was.
So thank you for tuning. Yeah, thanks, Dad. Thank you for tuning in and listening to our top 10 lists. We want to just say we appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and hit that bell so that you get notified when our new album comes, when our new episodes come out. For next week, here's the deal. We're coming back to Nate Chinnon's list, starting the 2002 year that he's got. So put Ben Allison, the album Peace Pipe, in your ear so that we can talk about it together next week. Ben Allison, Peace Pipe. I have a confession to make. I have not put that album in my ear yet, just because I've been listening to so much trumpet music the last couple of weeks. But I cannot wait to get back to our list and get back to our regular scheduled dialogue with you two and Ben Allison and the album Peace Pipe. So thank you so much for checking us out and listening to us ramble on about our top 10 favorites. You guys did a great job on your list, and I hope you appreciate my list as well.
Good
Definitely.
job. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Cheers,
Peace out.
y'all.